Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Postgame Podcast. I'm Jay Zawaski here with Mario Tirabassi. Greg Boysen is at the United Center and will join us shortly. The Hawks, bad 4-0 loss to the Minnesota Wild. It could have been much, much worse. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk to Greg Boysen, who's at the United Center, and will join us in a little bit. We've got our 4-star nominees. That was difficult to find. We're going to play Who's Your Hawk? We're going to visit Conor's Corner, but this was a stinker. If you're with us in the chat, we appreciate it. Please smash that like button for us. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Podcast listeners, same deal. Subscribe, rate, review, all that great stuff. And Mario, yesterday's game, the win over Dallas, you left feeling positive about it, but yeah, it was pretty much a drubbing where you got the bounces. Mm-hmm. This game was awful. This is a probably bottom 5 performance of the year. The Hawks never had the puck. Almost halfway through the second period, they had 5 shots on goal.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst 60-minute efforts I've seen all year.
Yeah, and first and foremost, credit to the Wild for playing a game that just shut down anything the Blackhawks tried to do. I mean, how many times, especially in that third period, how many times were the Blackhawks just couldn't get the puck, couldn't control the puck, couldn't get it away from the Wild? Like, it was just, it's the team, the difference in the teams was so evident, and not just on the scoreboard, but just as you're just watching the game, you're just like, Minnesota just played more structured, passes were crisper, they were getting in shot lanes a lot more than the Blackhawks were. Like, it was just, they just got completely outplayed. And the difference between today's game and yesterday's game, where Dallas did a lot of the same things to the Blackhawks that Minnesota did today, is that you had Peter Mrazek bail you out a lot, and not saying that Arvid Söderblom had a bad game. Like, it could have been a lot worse,
definitely,
than 4-0.
Yeah.
But it's just, you're just allowing so many shots. You could not get good enough offensive possession, and they converted on a couple plays yesterday. They had no spark to get those kinds of plays started today. So it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It's very annoying, and I always, I'm no Troy Murray. I always listen when we drive back between the second and third periods. When we drive from the UC to the station here, I always make sure I listen to what Troy has to say in the intermission, just to kind of either confirm what I'm seeing or question what I'm seeing to see. Because look, that guy, he's forgotten more about hockey than I'll ever know. And that was his message. He's like, there was just no energy from this team. They came out flat-footed. They were sagging defensively and everything. They were giving Minnesota everything. Yeah. And there were so many shifts where guys were just like losing races to the puck. Couldn't get it away, could never control it. When they did, they would try to clear and it would hit a skater, be kept in. Minnesota was playing Harlem Globetrotters to the Blackhawks today. And look, Minnesota's a better team than the Hawks, make no mistake about it. They're not that good. They're not as good as they look today. That's the sort of dominating performance you would expect from Colorado, Boston, Dallas.
Which they experienced.
But even against Dallas, who put, the 44 shots on goal or whatever it was yesterday, the Hawks were at least getting their share of opportunities. Today, I fail to think of one truly high danger chance generated. There was the partial breakaway shorthanded by Entwistle, where he didn't really have much of an angle, shot it wide, but it was a decent scoring chance. Their best chances were point shots that just found their way through.
Yeah.
I can't think of a singular... Oh, and there was a potential Michigan-ish attempt by Athanasiou. It might have just been a backhander. I just didn't have a good look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. But in terms of like, wow, that was a high quality chance and Wallstedt just saved it. Remind me if I'm forgetting something.
Yeah, no, none that I remember. Was it Joey Anderson that had was it kind of a 2-on-1 or like a 1.5-on-1? I can't remember. There wasn't a ton of space.
No.
And he did get a shot off. But again, it's just like when you can count on one hand the amount of times that you have like a good opportunity to score and it actually gets on net, like you're not going to get very far in the NHL with games like that. And it is frustrating to have them, it's back-to-back games, which Minnesota had 2, but they traveled.
Yeah.
Blackhawks didn't.
Yep.
And it's afternoon, it's afternoon game. So you had an afternoon game yesterday. You feel good, coming home from the rink with a win, and you had your entire night ahead of you. You had slept in your bed, like you didn't have to do anything. Wake up today, go back to the rink, and it was like 2 different teams that were on the ice today with the Blackhawks. And I know we're very late in the season, and back-to-back games can have your toll on you, but for a team that starts games slowly, consistently, there really shouldn't that should not have been the case. Like you should have walked into the arena with some jump today, feeling good that you got a win against Dallas. You have another tough matchup today, ready to get after it, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah. And look, like there's a lot of people in the chat just saying it's a talent issue. I get that. There's no denying that. But it doesn't mean that because you lack talent that you just don't show up. Again, that was not the 80s Oilers. It wasn't. It's the Minnesota Wild, the very definition of an average hockey team, maybe slightly above average, and they got the puck on a string, and they're clowning you for 60 minutes. Yeah. And look, maybe the Hawks are completely juiced from trying to keep up with Dallas yesterday, fine, whatever excuse you want to make, but it's just a matter of the way they came out, the energy they had. And look, Minnesota, as we know, they take that out of you. They play a boring style. They do play keep away. But, man, there was just no answer for the Hawks today. And Minnesota was very happy. At the end of the third period, about halfway through, they just started playing catch along the boards.
Yeah,
they weren't even trying.
No, they figured, okay, we can dictate the pace of this game. We can dictate everything that's going to happen when we have the puck in our zone. So let's just we got a 4-0 lead. There's nothing they can do. Yeah. Let's just get out of here. No one get hurt. Everyone just get back on the plane. We'll go home. We'll feel good about ourselves. And they did exactly that.
Yep. All right. So here are your 4-star nominees in this one. And again, we kind of had to dig and search. Arvid Söderblom stopped 33 of 37 wild shots. Certainly not the reason they lost today. Looking back at the 4 he let in, I didn't really have a problem with any of them. Maybe the first Kaprizov goal, the one-timer, kind of snuck past him, but okay, fine if you want to nitpick. Otherwise, he was solid. Seth Jones with just another day at the office, 22-56, 3 shots on goal, 5 hits, 2 block shots. He was even on the day. And Wyatt Kaiser, who actually finished a -2, but ended up promoted to the top defensive pair with Seth Jones. Yeah. He had 4 shot attempts, but just like playing with a lot of confidence. There were a couple moments when he had those shot attempts where gets the puck at the blue line and maybe his first call up, he rushes the shot through and it's blocked, kind of created some space for himself, walked his way into a better shooting angle and got it through. He just looks, like we talked about it yesterday, we've been talking about it since his recall. He looks like a different guy. He looks supremely confident. Troy Murray, again, kind of verified that during the intermission that he just looks like a different guy. And eventually the point production is going to come for him when it starts coming for the whole team. And I don't know, I feel like, not that he wasn't in their future plans by any means, but I feel like the way he's played this last stretch, he's kind of throwing a wrench into their future plans and making them think about, hey, maybe we could move one of these defensive prospects we like down the road because Kaiser looks like a keeper. I know it's a short sample size, but in a game where the whole team looks so bad, for a guy that young with that few NHL games to stand out as much as he did, I think that's meaningful. I think it does. I think it's not just a fluke.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the confidence that I think he regained in his game by going down to Rockford and playing significant minutes and playing in all situations. That's starting to come out of him on the ice for sure. Like today, like the poise with the puck, being able to be patient, when making decisions, and the confidence to skate himself out of the zone. Rather than just trying to do stretch passes or anything like that, like having the confidence to control the puck. And there was a play, I forget who was on his butt basically, but he fought him off through center ice, kept control with like one hand, and was able to get it out of the zone through the neutral zone, and then dump it in to give the forwards a chance to go chip in and chase. And it's just like, it was just one of those plays where you're just like, it doesn't really look like much to the naked eye, but like when you see where his game has progressed, you're like, that was a confident play. Yeah. And for a lot of these young guys, Kevin Korchinski did not have a great game tonight. Ooh. You want to make sure that their like confidence is not shot in these final few games, because for the most part, as a whole, the young group on this team have had a really positive season.
I agree. Let's talk about Korchinski next. I definitely want to do that. We got to take our first break of the show. And I want to remind everybody that, as you see here, front and center, there it is. My ice-cold coping mechanism, Coors Light. I needed to chill today. We all needed to chill today. Even though the Wild put us to sleep a little bit, we needed to chill a little bit, and that is the beer we go to when it is time to chill. We love our Coors Light here at CHGO. We were enjoying it during our WrestleMania watch-along last night, which was great.
That was a lot of fun.
Thanks to everybody who joined us. Looking forward to night 2 tonight. No watch-along tonight, but I'm going to go home.
Bulls watch-along, though.
Yeah, Bulls watch-along right now. If you stay with us, and then when we're done, go over there. You got plenty of game left over there. But get yourself a Coors Light. When those mountains turn blue, it is as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light, here's why it's so cold. It's cold lagered, it's cold filtered, and it's cold packaged for a smoother finish. When those mountains turn blue, you know it's as cold as the Colorado Rockies. And whether you're talking about the mountains or the baseball team, cold. When it's time to chill, Coors Light is the beer we reach for. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door, but with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. As one of my stitches literally just came out of my mouth.
You all right?
Yeah. They dissolve.
Okay, good.
And one of my stitches from my implant literally just dissolved into my mouth as I was doing a read. That's professional effort, damn it.
Fighting through.
I was like juggling the damn thing.
That's a first. What goes great with Coors Light and washing down those stitches is some delicious Salerno's pizza. Tom Quinn in the chat here says, have to thank you guys. This is unsolicited, by the way.
Thank you, Tom.
Salerno's. Says, have to thank you guys for turning me on to Salerno's. Went there for the first time after yesterday's game, and the pizza was delicious. Also, got 50% off of the pizza for mentioning CHGO. That is wonderful.
Way to go.
That is a call and an action.
That's right.
All completed. Love it, Tom.
Thank you.
And yeah, Salerno's, great pizza. They fueled our WrestleMania watch-along last night. And they can fuel the rest of the Blackhawks games that remain and all the other sporting events you want pizza for. And while you're eating that pizza and drinking that Coors Light, you're going to want to have a game within the game, right? Mm-hmm. That's when you turn to Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because it's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. March is over, but the biggest moments in college basketball happen in the month of April. The Women's National Championship, congratulations to South Carolina. That just ended this afternoon, but the men's national title. Yes, the men's national title game is tomorrow night. That is Purdue taking on UConn?
Yes.
Right? Yes, UConn. I half watched that game last night. So go to Prize Picks, and you can select the more than or less than on all of the college basketball players there. Also, You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks right now with as little as 4 correct picks. That means you can turn $10 into $1,000 with basketball, hockey, college basketball entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use the code CHGO, and you can get a first deposit match of up to $100. Again, that's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. You picking more stitches out?
More stitches. Well, I mean, if one part dissolves, the other part's going to come out.
That's true.
I'll save them for you, Steven.
Good.
All right, we got a comment here from Chicago Sports 23. By the way, in a minute, we're going to hear from Colin Blackwell and Luke Richardson, so stay tuned for that. And then Greg should be with us shortly. There he is.
There he is.
Chicago Sports 23 says, was anyone else confused when Korchinski told Slager to get Faber, then proceeded to go at Faber instead of Cap? Yes.
We were all confused.
It was, and we've talked about this all year, like communicate on the ice. We saw it in the Dallas game. There was a 2-on-1 late, and no one said, like, shoot,
right,
or 5-5, whatever. You could hear Minnesota all
the
game
countdown,
yelling out times. So, literally, if you watch the replay, Korchinski is skating backwards, Slager to the end of the shift, trying to catch Faber from behind and gaining ground. Korchinski's pointing at Faber, take him,
which Slager did.
Yes, and then Slager gets there, and then Korchinski, for some reason, goes to his left, takes out Faber and Slager.
Yeah.
And there's Kaprizov.
Wide.
Thank you very much, sir. I will have a breakaway now, basically.
Uncovered.
And he's not going to miss when that happens. So
yeah, that one was that's
weird.
Going to be a teachable moment because there's 2 options for Korchinski on that play. The one he took, which is I'm going to play the pass.
Yeah.
And Slager, if you can get to Faber, that's who you need to take. And Slager, he was at the end of the shift, so he's gassed, but he got there. He got on his hit. He got on Faber's hip pocket, which, if Korchinski had stayed taking away the pass to Kaprizov, that's a difficult angle. That's a difficult play for Faber to make, and you have Söderblom able to play the shot.
Yeah.
Because Korchinski's taking away the pass. Like that's what in my opinion, what he should have stuck with because that's the play he called. But then, if you're going to say, Slager, go get him, play the pass. Or you yourself could, as Korchinski, could have gone to play Faber and have Slager, since he's already behind the play.
Yeah, he's behind Faber.
Try and catch Kaprizov.
But he was clearly pointing at Faber.
But yeah, he made the call, like, get Faber, I'm playing the pass.
Unless he was saying, I've got Faber. It's a possibility
if
he was
saying
doing that.
Then Landon Slager's making the wrong play.
Well, he went to Notre Dame, so that's not possible. He's a smart young man.
I don't know. Yeah, so I think that's going to be that's going to come up in some video sessions.
Well, we got Greg standing by. Why don't we throw a curveball? Let's just bring Greg in, and maybe he can paraphrase what Luke and company had. Are we ready to do that? Okay, cool. Sorry to throw you a curveball there, Steven. There is Greg live from the United Center. I'm sure you heard what we were chatting about with the Korchinski and Faber play. Did that come up at all during Luke's presser?
It sure did, and it was Korchinski telling Slager to go get Faber, and then all of a sudden he said that Korchinski then thought maybe Slager wasn't going to get him, and then went to get him. Made the wrong play, and Richardson said it. Like, you don't tell, like, he says it's the defenseman's call because the defenseman's skating backwards and can see the whole play. Slaggert, as the back checker, has his back turned to the play, and it's Korchinski needs to direct him. And Korchinski said, "Go get Faber," and then a second later, he says, "I'm going to go get Faber too." Yeah. And the result is another easy Kaprizov goal. In the grand scheme of things, it meant nothing to the end result of the game, but those are the types of plays that, yes, 19-year-old defenseman, but you gotta not do that. Like, tell the guy go get him and let him go get him and take the trailer on that play. Not a great play, but not the reason the Blackhawks lost today either.
No, and look, it's a learning experience, right? And he's never going to do that again, probably.
Hopefully.
But it's, we're late in the year. It's been a longer season than he's used to. Same with Bedard. Same with all these young guys who are rookies. And those mistakes are going to happen. It was just it was so baffling in real time. Like, wait a minute, you just told him. And who's got a better view of Slaggert coming to Faber and Kaprizov behind than Korchinski? He's literally backing up, watching this thing develop.
Yeah.
And Slaggert's getting at least Slaggert's there enough at least to disrupt the shot, to get a stick in there or whatever. When it's Kirill Kaprizov trailing to play, it's not Jared Tenorti. It's not Jacob Megna trailing to play. It's Kirill. I've got 40 goals, soon to be 41.
Yeah.
Kaprizov, like, that's the guy you've got to worry about. And all respect due to Brock Faber, right? Like, eliminate him, take him out to the side, and if he gets the puck to Kaprizov, at least Kaprizov is then contended with.
Right.
And he's got Korchinski to face. Instead, Korchinski's like, let me just scooch past you and just nudges Slaggert and Faber out of the lane, and Kaprizov's alone. It's like the duck underwater theory we talk about all the time. It's like, where's your brain?
Well, he was making the right play up until he decided to go and attack Faber. That was Korchinski reading the play, having the confidence to say, "Hey, Slaggert, go get him. I know what I'm doing here." And then he said, "Oh, shit, I forgot."
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things that, like, you just kind of, it's just that brain fart that you hope eventually doesn't happen anymore. And yeah, up until he changed course, he was doing everything right.
Yeah.
So,
and he was out there, like, I was watching this whole game, and the whole team was struggling, right? But I saw Korchinski engaged and battling and being as physical as he could. He wasn't always winning because he's not fully developed yet, growth-wise. But he's out there battling and working hard and all that stuff. And I just think that you said it. That's just a brain fart by Korchinski, and I'm glad that it was sort of mentioned and called out and said, "Hey, like, you've got to, if you tell your teammate you're going to do one thing, do that one thing."
Yeah.
And if they happen to score anyway, if Faber makes an amazing drop pass to Kaprizov and he gets a shot through Kevin Korchinski's legs and score, fine. It sucks, but at least you didn't just give him a wide open shot, and that's what he did.
right.
What else did we hear from Luke today? We were going to play it, but then you jumped right in. We want to get to you right away. So what else did we hear from Luke about the game in general? I saw shorter than usual.
Yeah, and I'll throw that up on the CHGO Blackhawks Twitter account here as soon as I'm off, so everybody can go listen to it. I've got Jacob Megna and Colin Blackwell's postgame thoughts up there now. Just everybody, all three people we talked to, and Megna and Blackwell and Luke, kind of all echoed the same thing of, like, just not enough guys pulling in the same direction. Minnesota made it very hard on them. We've seen some boring hockey games this season, and this one was the most boring of them all, the least exciting game of the season, and that's saying something. The Wild just they basically played four corners all day, and the Blackhawks had no response, no answer. They couldn't get the puck, and when they had the puck, they were being pushed to the outside all game long. Never had any really grade A chances. Luke mentioned that. He said yesterday we did a better job of getting in between the dots, causing some traffic between for the goalie. Today, there was none of that. I mean, you're facing a goalie that's had one NHL game, gave up 7 goals to the Stars, and today you just made it easy. I don't think Jesper Wallstedt's had an easier game in his entire hockey life than today. He was not challenged once on a serious. He didn't have to make any above average save today, not once in those 24 shots. So they made life easy for him. Now, Wallstedt's going to be a very good goalie. I'm high on him. I think this is the first of many National Hockey League shutouts, but I doubt he's going to have many in his career that will be easier than today's shutout.
That was one of the more disappointing things about this game, is that there didn't seem like there was more of an urgency to say, hey, we got, young, inexperienced goaltender that, you want to try and pepper with shots. You want to try and be able to take advantage of that and make it difficult. and it just wasn't there. Like you said, like it was like 5-6 shots midway through the game.
Yeah,
That's
with 12 minutes left in the 12 minutes left in the second, like 12 and change, they had 5 shots on goal.
Yeah. Ugh.
I mean, that's
bad.
hard to do.
Yeah. Yes, it's hard to do, but it's also not hard to do when you don't have the puck. Like, you can't shoot shots on goal when you're in your defensive zone 95% of the game.
Yeah, that is also true.
Oh, God.
So, in fact, it's quite easy to do when you never have the puck.
Yeah. Who else was available? I saw Blackwell spoke. What did he have to say? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, Blackwell, again, he said a lot of the same things. Disappointing. They had a big win yesterday. And today was, just one of those days. He said the game plan was there, but not enough guys stuck to it. Not enough guys worked hard enough. It's the script that this team follows. They win a game, and then the next game it's in every other game. It's an inconsistent team. And that's what you have when you have a young team with not a lot of talented veterans around either. I mean, you can say all you want in the locker room before a game, but if you don't go out there and try and shrink that talent gap by playing hard, by playing smarter hockey. They just kept trying to skate through the neutral zone instead of dumping the puck in and outworking guys to get the puck. And Blackwell said that too. He said what we needed to do, a team playing 7 defensemen today, a team that traveled to get here today, they needed to dump the puck in deep and go outwork them. And by the mid of second, third period, they're going to be tired. They're going to make a mistake, and we capitalize it. And he said they just didn't do it. That was the plan. The puck dropped, and half the team forgot what the plan was. And one other thing from Luke I wanted to mention while it's on my brain before I forget, because I forget things. He was asked about Wyatt Kaiser and, how they were switching the lines up and the defensive pairs, and Kaiser was kind of the main focus of the defenseman. And he praised him, saying he was skating well, skating out of trouble, making right plays in the second period. Excuse me. He, came down the middle of the ice, took a shot, got aggressive. But Luke also mentioned that fourth goal, the one we just talked about so much, probably gets avoided if Kaiser, in that same exact play, coming down the slot, takes a shot, but he decides to pass. The pass goes nowhere. Yeah, you're right. Puck goes the other way. It's in your net. So we don't even talk about what, Korchinski's brain fart there if Kaiser shoots the puck instead of tries to pass it through 8 sticks in the middle of the ice.
Yeah. Yeah, usually putting the puck on net, less bad things happen going the other direction. So
normally, yes.
Normally. It's a simple game sometimes. Yeah, it's incredibly disappointing to have this kind of game. And it was the storyline coming into this one that I think most people cared about, other than just the plain old result of the game, is the head-to-head matchup of the rookies and everything. And you walk away with it. It's a 4-0 loss. Conor Bedard had 1 shot on goal. Brock Faber gets an assist and makes a really good play. And it's just, as much as it's still Conor Bedard's Rookie of the Year award, with everyone watching this game, Faber has the better game, the more noticeable game in the head-to-head. So it doubly sucks, because I'm so sick of this back and forth about this award this year. But you would have hoped that it was an opportunity for Bedard and the Hawks to have a good performance, go out there and put on a little bit of a show and put an end to the debate. And you didn't really get that opportunity, even though the debate should be and has been, to most people, over.
Yeah, I echo that. I'm tired of having to talk about it, but certain writers, certain members of a fan base won't let it die. Listen, if plus minus is what you're going to give this award out to, then Brock Faber is lucky that Alex Vlasic played one too many games last season. Because if he was eligible for the Calder, you'd be talking about him. Because Brock Faber is now a +2 on a team with a -9 goal differential. Alex Vlasic is a -4 on a team with a -99 goal differential. Which one is more impressive if we're just talking plus minus?
That's pretty obvious.
By difference, yeah.
Yeah, and people want to talk about the Bedard plus minus. It's bad. It's really bad. But here's the biggest difference, though. Up until today, Brock Faber had been on the ice Connor Bedard had been on the ice for only one more 5-on-5 goal against than Brock Faber. The difference was Brock Faber has been on the ice for 61 5-on-5 goals for. Connor Bedard's only been on the ice for 36 5-on-5 goals. 33 of those, he either scored himself or had an assist. So standing around being passenger on 41 Kirill Kaprizov goals makes your plus minus look a lot better and gets the graph dorks in your corner for Calder. Just stop. Sometimes your graphs and your charts don't make you seem as smart as you think it does. Watch the game and tell me with a straight face that Brock Faber is better than Connor Bedard. If you do, you're a moron.
And the only person that can help Connor Bedard's plus minus is him. Because there's no one, like you said.
Right, he has to do it himself.
Got Kaprizov to score 41 goals. If Bedard doesn't score, no one does. So, anyway. All right, we're going to let you go, man. I know it's been a long day. It is raining like a mofo out there, so enjoy that.
It looks like it's cleared up by the United Center. I'm right by the window because they got some music going on, some kiddie game getting played. Okay. But before I do, I want to give out a shout-out, if you haven't guys already, to our buddy Windy City Hockey for bringing us our own gummy bears today. Very nice. Good to see him and his dad at the game. Sorry you made the long trip for such a suckfest of a hockey game. But you guys, you're one of the most dedicated. The term diehard, we use it a lot. But, man, he fits that bill to a T. So thanks again for the treats.
It was a good day for gummy bears because Bergevin was there again.
Yeah.
So you
having
gummy
our own
bears where you can't touch them.
To have your own stash is a good, good
And
alternative.
Windy City Hockey, because today was best day ever, put in an application to adopt one of those puppies that was in the H ring.
Oh, nice.
So good luck.
Cool.
Love
That's
it.
Fun.
All right, Greg. Stay dry.
Boys.
I walked in here and this guy. He's got his shoes off. He's got his feet on 2 paper towels because he said he's hit every puddle on the way out. So he's drying his feet off.
Shoes felt like I walked through a river. So they're currently drying.
My nostrils are thankful that I'm here and not in that small hot room with Mario's bare feet.
There was no odors.
Feet don't smell.
Nice, clean feet.
Right.
We'll put them on CHG OnlyFans later.
There you go.
All right, Greg.
You got the shoes. No, don't give it away for free. You gotta get at least a $20 super chat to show them bad boys off.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
All right, boys. Enjoy the day. I will see you Tuesday. Day off for us and day off for the Blackhawks tomorrow. So everybody can avoid having to talk about this for 24 hours.
Enjoy the eclipse.
Sure. I'll be in my house protecting my eyeballs.
There you go. Good thinking.
All right.
Greg.
Talk to you
That's
later,
Greg
guys.
Boysen from UC. Follow him on Twitter at Greg Boysen.
Yeah.
One of those days, man.
One of those days. It's a rainy Sunday afternoon, and you just slogged through one of those games, and
it was not good. Well, now that we had Mario's feet on the carpet, we're going to need new carpets. So we're going to hit up our friends at Empire today because flooring is all they do. You could shop at home or in office convenience. The right product for your needs and quick and professional installation. And, of course, a low price guarantee. You know by now Empire today is the best place to get your flooring. So, of course, they've got people trying to rip them off, but no one can beat Empire on their selection, on their quality, on any of that stuff. We talk about it all the time. They've got that great viewer where you can see what your new floors are going to look like in your space. So take a picture of your bathroom or your bedroom or whatever, and then you can upload that and take a look at however you're picking out 3 or 4 different patterns. They'll show you exactly what those floors are going to look like. It is awesome. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners will receive a $350 discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Go to empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
Yes. I almost had to get new floors. I was looking at Empire.
Yeah.
I used that tool. It was very easy.
Did that guy come over and just roll the rug out and that's it?
No. I didn't actually need the new floors.
Nice work.
But almost. But not really.
You would have saved $350.
I would have. It would have been back into my pocket.
That is dart betting money, my
and
friend.
some of that would have gone to Prize Picks, and the other would have gone to Game Time. Game Time. You should not have to worry about when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Use Game Time because they are the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all of these sporting events, music, comedy, and theater shows nearest or far away from you if you want to take a road trip. They got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices. You got the views from your seats and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. And if you're ever on the fence, wishy-washy about going to an event, sometimes that can be used to your advantage, because if you at the last minute decide, hey, I do want to go to insert event here, you can go to Game Time and take advantage of those last-minute flash deals. They're always going to have the best price for you on your tickets, and the availability is wonderful. If you ever want to go to something that's even like close to selling out, like Game Time, they're going to get it done for you. And if you're waiting on those last minute deals and you're scouring all the other inferior ticketing sites and somehow happen to find the same seat on the same ticket on the same seat on a different site, you can bring it to Game Time, and they will credit you 110% of the difference on that ticket. That's how much they care about making sure that you are getting the best price through them. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO. When you do that, you're going to get $20 off of your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
All right, we've got to pay off our... Oh, my voice cracked.
Hey,
we got to pay off our segments a little bit later on with Who's Your Hawk and 4-Star and Conor's Corner. But I want to get some comments in that were in the chat that we weren't able to get to. Our pals at the Hockey Barn there on Ogden say any word if Murphy will make an appearance before the season ends. It seems to be trending that way.
Seems to be,
I think barring a setback, he would probably get in. It looks like he's pretty close.
Knock on wood.
And I know, I think before yesterday's game, Luke said that he has kind of progressed to the next stage of practicing.
Yeah.
Can take some contact a little bit, so we'll see how he responds to that. So, yeah, I think he's going to get a chance to be in, and it'll be a sight for sore eyes. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to get in, and we've talked about it, for a while since Athanasiou's come back, that this is really the healthiest the Hawks have been.
Yeah.
But if they get Murphy back here for the end of the year, like, that's truly going to be the case. Like, probably as healthy as they've been since Taylor Hall was healthy.
Yeah, because then basically the only two people that would be missing for health reasons is Reece Johnson still in concussion protocol.
Saw him today.
And then Taylor Hall, who's been out for the entire year.
Yeah, and Perry, of course.
Perry, but for injury reasons.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see Murphy come back. Richardson said a couple of days ago after one of the practices that even just mentally for Murphy to come back and play, even if it's the last game or two of the season, to come back and be able to come back from what he was dealing with, which off the top of my head, I forget the name of it, but it was something within the hips that is
solar
like it's like common. Yeah, wasn't a solar plexus. Something within the hips that's like common with hockey players. I'll have to go on WebMD and read up on it again. But it's good to see that he's gotten back to the point where he's skating, he's taking contact. We'll see Tuesday's practice. We'll see what what his status is. He was skating with partial contact the last time he was out there, so I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and plays at least a game or two before the end of the year. Again, making sure that everything is on the up and up for him to come back.
I think it's just a big hurdle for a guy to say, I've been out this long. I was able to get back before the year ended.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good. I'm glad he'll be, hopefully, again, knocking on wood, that he gets a chance. Also, a comment from Jimmy N. He says, if there's one wild player I could select for the Hawks, it would be Matthew Boldy. super all around game. He was awesome today.
He's great.
He's got the puck all the time, and he's kind of like the guy. He's the distributor for them. He does a lot. Really good young player. But I was really impressed with him today. Like every time I look down, like, wow, they're really dominating the ship. There's Matthew Boldy, kind of controlling everything, working from behind the net, like out there in Gretzky's office, you know, doing his thing. And maybe it was just the fact of the way the Hawks played today. But yeah, Matthew Boldy really impressed me in this one.
Even outside of it being the Blackhawks that he was against today, he's really started to grow into a really good top end player in this league. And I remember him in that 2019 draft class when the Blackhawks had the 3rd pick, and it was like, okay, like 1 and 2 are pretty much spoken for.
Yeah.
What's going to happen at 3? I remember thinking like, yeah, maybe Boldy might be a bit of a stretch, but like I think he had all the tools to kind of make something happen, and now we're kind of seeing it come to fruition. And he's a really good complementary piece right now for the Wild, where they have a couple guys that are maybe a little bit ahead of him in as far as their production and their importance, but he's not far off from being a top line player in this league.
Yeah, 70 games this year, 61 points, 26 goals, 35 assists. Yeah. That does count today. 23 years old, 162 points and 197 games, 6'2", 201. Like he might never be a super scoring stud, like 100-point kind of a guy, but that's a guy that makes every team he's on better, you know? And he's a good young player. And as the Hawks are kind of looking for the kind of players they need, that's kind of the forward profile they're missing a little bit.
Be a nice guy to have.
Yeah. So go trade for him.
Yes. 1 for 1.
Of course.
Take your pick.
Jacob Magna.
Yes.
One for Matthew Boldy. Of course. We absolutely do that. All right, let's pay off some segments here. What do we want to do first, Steven?
Let's do Who's Your Hawk.
All right, let's do Who's Your Hawk. The winner today is Greg. He had Conor Bedard, who had the 2nd or 3rd highest game score for the Hawks.
Might have been 4th.
Let's see here. I got to look way down there.
I think it was 4th, 5th, 6th for all of our picks. I think Bedard was 4th, and then Dickinson was 5th, and Foligno was 6th.
Highest rated Hawk. Listen to this, Wild. Jacob Magna. Seth Jones.
Trade for him.
Athanasiou. Then it was Bedard, Dickinson, and Foligno. So,
4, 5, 6.
So he wins on the technicality of the blue line. So me and Greg, are we tied now?
Yeah. Super exciting victory. But hey, that race for second.
Yeah.
It's
going to be fun.
It's literally neck and neck.
By the way, determined what the winner gets. They get to wear the helmet the whole offseason all show.
All show,
every
off-season show? Okay.
Yeah. You just have to wear it the remainder. Perfect. From the last day.
Can I put the pads back in it?
Sure, yeah. We'll allow that.
Please.
And you also have to wear it to practices and stuff, so everybody knows.
I'm gonna spray paint it like chrome gold, and be nice and shiny.
Oh, we got a comment from Joey, who's running the Bulls show. He says, "Hey guys from Studio A, what exactly is this Toy Story broadcast on the TV? It looks like they're replaying.
It's the replay of
yesterday's animated game.
Yeah, Joey, if you're listening, it's the replay of the animated game that the Blackhawks had in honor of Tommy Hawk's birthday.
Yep,
it was a birthday party celebration for one Tommy Hawk, and all the other Chicago mascots were there hanging out. There's the green guy from the White Sox and Southpaw, yeah,
he's a green thing, all right.
He sure is. And yeah, it was. I did see some of the highlights of the game. I will say this. I know it's not. I don't know the reason that the technology isn't advanced enough, but watching the way the players moved, the skating mechanics. I know it's live tracking a real NHL game, so it's different than like EA NHL. But it looked so much smoother than, EA's version of the game. So I don't know. If I'm EA, I would look at some of these kinds of animations and be like, maybe there's something there in that technology to make the game look and flow better than the simulation style. So I don't know. It was cool. Anything to get more. Get more eyes on the game, more younger fans involved. I'm all for it.
See, I thought he was talking about our Connor's Corner graphic at first because we have that wallpaper on our graphic is a Toy Story logo.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
It's absolutely not Toy Story, Steven.
Some tweaks on it.
It's not Toy Story at all.
No, it's not. Steven did not say that.
Steven is confused. He thought he saw a different version of Toy Story as a child.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
He saw the knockoff version.
We would never, ever do something like that.
Never.
Oh, let's go to Connor's Corner.
I love that transition.
See for yourself. Definitely not Toy Story.
Yeah, no.
Conor Bedard with a shot on goal, 3 shot attempts. He had 2 hits, 18-24 of ice time. 1 hit was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
We got the Capri Sun. We got the racetrack.
He's got actual cars.
Is he watching us again?
Yes, he is.
Still
So this is a
watching us?
collaboration between Law and I, actually. So it's a little bit of the race cars in there. We have the 98 on the bed. That's going to be a permanent fix.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. I
And
like
then
that update.
Law added in the
He's got Capri Sun.
Conor Bedard watching our show on there.
I like that.
It goes on.
And the iPad protector needed.
Yeah.
For when Luke
definitely.
chucks it because he's looking at it too much. Yeah. So, I mean, not a great game by Bedard standards, but everybody was bad.
Everybody was held in check. Yeah.
So, fine. Just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think this is not the it's an anomaly game from Bedard to be completely shut down and basically a non-factor. I would like to think he's going to come back in the next one and say that's not going to happen again and have a big game. That would be nice.
That would be nice. By the way, the lowest rated Hawks today, Zaitsev last, Korchinski second to last, Kaiser third from last. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, being on the ice for goals against hurts your game score in the blue lines. But I mean, as we've said many times about being on the ice for goals against with the Blackhawks, when you are tasked with playing more minutes on this bad team that allows a lot of goals, that's going to be the case. But outside of the game score, Kaiser. The confidence in his game, as we said before, the confidence in his game is growing. You're seeing it more in the plays that are not directly him scoring a goal or setting up a goal. Like it's those plays that go unnoticed that he is starting to make a more positive difference in. And with a guy like him, who I was listening back to yesterday's show when you guys were talking about him, and like a guy like Kaiser is not a guy who's going to go out there and be a 50-point producing defenseman, play on your power play. Like he's not really going to be that guy. He never really has been offensively. But it's it kind of goes back to when we had Sean Shapiro on the show a couple of shows ago, and he was talking about we kind of have to think of a better term than a stay-at-home defenseman. Because there's defensemen that are strictly like, all I do is defend. I don't care about offense. Like I'm just trying to, defend my zone, get the puck out of the zone and transition. But there's more stabilizing defensemen, guys that, they may not be strictly defensive defensemen in that mold of like blocking shots, hits, clearing the puck, but they're not as offensively gifted to where it's like they're going to jump into the rush, they're going to control the power play. It's somewhere in between. And I feel like Kaiser's kind of like that guy where his defensive game has been more or less, as he's gone through college, been his calling card. And then as he's got to the NHL level and more in the AHL level this season, that offense is starting to develop a little bit, but he's not strictly a defensive guy,
right,
or strictly an offensive guy. He's right there in the middle where he can kind of like stabilize both things. So I think that's where a lot of those guys kind of make those, not highlight plays, but they do make a difference. And I think that is starting to get better in his game.
We were trying to find a comp yesterday, and I was thinking about it on the way home because I'm a nerd. And the guy we just talked to, and Lebowski 5 says it, Johnny Oduya is very much what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like a guy that can certainly move the puck. Not your ideal size for a defenseman. Now, Johnny was jacked. We know that. Johnny Oduya was built like a
sturdy
one of the soldiers in 300. Like he was carved, right?
Firm, as
exactly.
Anders Sorensen would say.
Yeah. But he was a guy that could move the puck with precision, but wasn't a guy that was ever going to fill up a score sheet or be a power play quarterback or anything. I could see that from Kaiser. I could see it. And look, he's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. All these guys are. Korchinski too. And I'll be interested to see where his career brings him. And someone earlier in the show said that they think that it might have been, I don't remember who it was, doesn't matter, that they might trade him because Richardson likes big defensemen. Well, I will say this, though. Kaiser brings something they don't really have. When you look at the depth of their defensive prospects, they're all big. Del Mastro, Allen, even Korchinski's got size. You've already got Jones here.
Renzel is tall.
Yeah, like
Linky.
You might want someone that brings a little bit of a different skill package.
You don't have to be 6'3", 200 pounds to be a NHL defenseman. Obviously, size helps.
Right.
But there's a lot of ways where smaller defensemen can make up for their lack of quote unquote ideal size. And Kaiser, he's not terribly small.
Right. He's what, 6 foot 190 or something.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not he's not Lane Hudson. He's not 5'8", 150 pounds, and is going to have to put up so many points to be useful in the NHL. He can skate really well. And as we said, like, I think the confidence when he has the puck, knowing the speed of the game, being able to make those decisions, that's going to be a difference maker for him if it continues to develop in the way that it looks like it has the second half of this season. And yeah, like, I mean, you have plenty of size already in the system. Like, not everyone has to be the same style of player.
Right. Absolutely. All right, we got to do the 4-star of the game, and then we'll wrap things up. And speaking of Wyatt Kaiser,
how'd you know he won?
I just had.
We do see your screen.
We can see everything.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. You saw me working on.
Sometimes I get lost. Like, I'm just watching Steven work Photoshop during the show. I'm like, damn, that's impressive. That's really good. Yeah, there's Wyatt Kaiser. He's the 4-star of the game, as voted by you, our listeners, our viewers of the YouTube. And yeah, despite the game score, which, as you mentioned, skewed because of a -2. Being on the ice a lot in the game, you're getting hemmed in for sure. But man, those little things you're seeing. If anybody, I talked about how Matthew Boldy stood out for the Wild today. Wyatt Kaiser stood out for the Hawks in a good way today for the vast majority of the game. Not a perfect game, of course, but way, way, way more good than bad, and actually earned him a promotion to the top unit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did like that he got to play some time with Seth Jones. So I mean, that's it's one of those small things where you reward a guy in the game, like, hey, you're going today, you're gonna get more minutes, and you're gonna play with our best defenseman.
Right, and he earned it. Did a good job. All right, we are off tomorrow. We're back Tuesday. Post-game Tuesday? Yes? Game Tuesday?
Yeah, there's a game.
So
there's a game, right?
I haven't looked
Tuesday?
that far ahead.
It's the part of this season where the schedule is
No, they play Wednesday. So Tuesday will be a studio show,
Okay.
2:30, and then Wednesday we've got post-game Hawks at Blues.
Yeah.
So let's hope they can be a little
Tuesday will
playoff
be-
spoiler for the Blues. That'll be fun.
Tuesday will be practice, and then are the Blues still mathematically alive in the playoffs?
To the internet.
I don't think they're not in a wild card spot.
I haven't checked since I did my Blackhawks beat. They are, they're 6 out. Boy, they lost a lot of ground over the last few days.
Well, Nashville's surge over the last few weeks has been good for them, but
Yeah.
So what? 6 points out with 5 games to play.
Yeah. So let's put the final nail in them. Just
That would
to
be
sure.
nice. Yeah, play spoiler to somebody, especially
Absolutely.
the Blues.
And I think hopefully a bit better of a response next game.
I hope so.
You would
It's
hope
on
so.
the road, so you start the game on time, and you're halfway there.
Yep. All right. Before we go, we're going to do one of our patented by the other show, What Chaos, like spikes. So 3, 2, 1, spike that like button for us. We got more people watching than liking, and that make it make sense.
Yeah, I don't like
Please
that.
hit that button for us. We would appreciate that on your way out. Again, we're back Tuesday at 2:30. We'll see what we'll talk about. It should be fun. We'll have some news from practice and maybe an update on Conor Murphy by then.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep. All right. Thanks to Steven for running the show. Thanks for him from descending from Bears land. He floated down the robes, the grace, came right down. We had to kiss the ring for him to do our show. But actually, no, Steven's produced 7 shows today within the last hour. So we appreciate his hustle as always. And we appreciate all of you being here for us. So we'll talk to you Tuesday at 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.